Right.
Hi, Coach. Tonight, Pegame was listed as out with a left leg injury. Can you talk about what happened with her injury and what was happening moving forward?
Yeah, she sprained her leg on our off day, just doing some work for the low minute players. So she's out for a little bit. We don't know how long. We don't think it's too serious, but in terms of long term, I mean, it hurts, but hopefully it's not a long term thing. That's really all I know. So.
Coach, obviously, defense was a major talking point after the last game. Chance, I know when she came into the game the other day, there were a couple of strong defensive decisions she had against, some veteran guards. Going against, some more veteran guards tonight, just how did she kind of factor into that equation when it comes to defense? What have you seen from her?
Yeah, Chance has been a great surprise in that regard in defense. A lot of times from college players, they come in and the offense comes easier than the defense. But she has a way of keeping the ball in front of her. She's got strong base and she's really smart. But from the first day of training camp, we were conscious, like, oh wow, she can defend. And went out there and actually stood up Chelsea Gray, which it's a big moment for a rookie to stand up the point guard. And so I think we anticipate her to have a really solid role for us off the bench. She can really shoot it. Didn't get to see that, but we're still a work in progress. But really impressed with what she's done so far.
You mentioned Sunday, just kind of wanting to see Cam have confidence coming off the bench and everything.
I can't hear you. I'm so sorry. It's so loud. I'm really sorry. It's not your fault.
Is this better?
That's better. We turned it up.
It's not you, Chris.
It's
Okay.
not you.
Thank you.
It's the noise and
Okay.
Okay.
No, it's on Sunday you talked about Cam having her confidence coming off the bench and wanting to see that from her. What do you guys kind of work with her on to build that confidence offensively, and what would that look like to you when you guys kind of at that?
Yeah, Cam's good. She's fine. My charge to her is to drown out the noise, and listen to your family, listen to your fiance, listen to the people in the org, and other than that, turn down the noise. She had one of her best days yet in practice yesterday. So proud of her. I have so much confidence and belief in her, and we need her, and she knows it. And so she'll figure it out. I have no doubt.
Hi, I'm Kendra Andrews. I was talking with Nneka yesterday, and she was telling me how during her recruitment to come here, you called her. It was part of really that push. Why was it so important to you that she come back to Los Angeles now that she is here? What does she bring to a team, both on the court and then as a leader in the locker room?
Yeah, Nneka's one of one, and for me personally, obviously the talent is one thing, but just someone of her legacy in this league, both Reagan, our GM, and myself felt like it was almost like meant to be that she come back here and finish her career. She deserves that, to bring, again, legacy is the word, it's a Hall of Famer. But it's been a joy to be able to be around her, and her leadership is unparalleled. She has a presence and a gravity to her, but also a grace in which she presents things. So we all know how smart she is, and so she leads with her heart, but also leads with, everything she says is spot on. So for me, it's great to just be able to stand back and be like, tell him, Nneka, get him. So, she's been really fun to have, and I feel lucky to have her on our team.
Your red side,
John W. Davis, Southern California News Group. Coach, the Fever put up 100 points in their first game. What do you want to see from your team so that they can keep up with them and also slow them down?
I don't worry about keeping up with them. I think, both us and them want to play with pace. We want to get out and run. We want to, be great to score 100. Obviously, you want to try to be better defensively than we were. which, man, that's a low bar from Sunday. Our defense, to be better than that, I think we should be able to do. But I think where Indiana's tough is the balance they have with Aaliyah Boston in terms of her ability to score inside. She looks really good. She's bringing the ball up some. She looks lean and fit and athletic, and she still has that power though. So I think they have a great balance of somebody inside that can really make you pay, and then they're just elite guard scoring. But we're not afraid to get out and run. We'll do it too. We'd love to get into a high scoring. We're not afraid of getting into a high scoring game. But we've got to be better defensively at all facets, and the players know it. We had a great practice film yesterday. It's just about building habits, and it's a process in doing so. So we'll be better defensively, but we know we certainly have our handful with Indiana's offense and firepower.
In the back row,
Hey, I was wondering if since Sunday you've been able to have a conversation with him about her confidence and how she can produce, and then also just more broadly, how do you balance goal winning with development?
Yeah, I'm going to keep the conversations I have with players between just the two of us. But yes, I have conversations with all our players all the time. And Cam and I have a great rapport and relationship, and we both trust each other. And so she's going to be just fine. But it's when you're playing games every other day, or we've got 3 games in 5 days, you've got to figure out and be really intentional with development. And so we've got 3 player development coaches this season. Very intentional planning for each player as to what and how we're going to work on what they need to work on individually throughout the whole season, which is different this year. We've been way more intentional about it. And so it's just not something you can say, boy, she needs to work on this, and then hope she does. Like, you've got to be intentional how you do it, and we've done that.
Hi, Coach. Whether it's with her length or her sense of urgency and energy, how do you quantify what Ray Burrell brings defensively night in, night out?
You can't really quantify it. Her energy and her ability to impact the game. And we've got to do a better job of getting her involved offensively. And she didn't have a shot in the first half, and that's not good. And I'll take responsibility for that. The ball's got to move; it's got to find her. But her defense, she's got great instincts, but she's also equally instinctive on offense too. Where she's cutting, and she's got a great feel. So we need to do a better job. I need to do a better job of getting her involved. But I still think her athleticism and her feel make her a really impactful player.
on the left side, Jared.
Hey, Coach. Considering Caitlin hasn't played here since 2024, what challenges, if any, does that present to you and your group trying to figure out how to throw off a game, physical, having left side of the screens, stuff like that?
I mean, Caitlin's one of one too, right? Like, she is unique in when the ball crosses half court, it's in the scoring zone. We have our hands full. You can't lose sight of her for a half a second. So we'll mix up what we're doing with her, mix up who's guarding her. But I don't think it matters that she hasn't played here since 24. She is who she is, and as much as her scoring, shooting is a threat, her passing is even more dangerous. So we've got to be locked in, and it's not just whoever's guarding her. It's got to be all 5 people locked in, head on a swivel, because she's an unbelievable passer. Just her vision is incredible.
On the right side, first row, make up.
Hi, Coach. Michael Mathionis, Sports Weekly. So last year with Kelsey, we saw her have a lot of success playing off the ball with you there. Do you see some minutes for her as far as if it's Ariel or her with Erica Wheeler, just so that she can get some rest and not having to bring the ball up and initiate offense?
Yeah, and that did happen on Saturday or Sunday as well. So when she's in there with Ida, she'll be more of that 2 guard. When she's in there with Ariel, she'll be more the 1. But Tanaya Latson can get her off the ball too. She's just, rookie point guard. It's tough, but she's good enough, and she'll earn her minutes and get her rhythm going. So yeah, obviously we don't want the ball in KP's hands all the time. Ideally, we can get her off the ball, and then the second or third action it finds her again. So, but again, we've added 3 all-stars to our group. It takes a minute for everybody to figure out, myself included, how to get everybody involved, and until you start playing games, real games, and you got to do it in real time. So we're a work in progress. I'm okay with that. It's a process. But yeah, KP will be off the ball probably more tonight than she was the other night.
Just a few more. Justin, back left.
Hey, Lynn.
Hey, Justin.
I kind of want to ask you, on Sunday, the run that you guys made in the second quarter predominantly came with just one big on the floor, 3 guards. Kind of wanted the thought process behind that in the moment. How do you kind of decide to go to a 1 big line versus a 2? When going to a 1, theoretically, you have less size to deal with, the offensive glass. How does that process come together when to do that?
Well, to be honest, on Sunday I did it because Vegas did it. They were playing Chelsea at the 4, and so I said, well, we can do that too. And just trying to match up with them a little bit, defensively, offensively, and that got us going. We went to that last year. We had Rakia play the 4 a little bit when we went small. It was a good lineup. I think Ray can be that. Ray's bigger and stronger than she looks defensively. She can guard a forward. So that's certainly something that I like, that look. But it's also hard to not have Nneka, Dearica, or Cam all on the, 2 of those 3 on the floor at the same time too.
Sabrina.
Hey Coach, it seemed like most of the offensive success on Sunday was coming in isolation, like the screening actions weren't getting the types of advantages you want. Is that like just gotta work on screening? Or like what?
Is that bad? Yes, Sabrina, yes. Yeah. No, our system is not one that is built around isolation basketball. The ball was not moving on Sunday. It just wasn't. It would get to a side and stay there. And that's not the way we need to play. The ball needs to move, players need to move, and then the system finds the shot, if that makes sense. And so that's why, Ray wasn't getting touches, and Dearica didn't get a ton. We've got to move the ball. And if we don't, it's a pretty dumb system. If we do, it's pretty dang hard. But it also is one where there's structure, but there's not a lot of players have freedom. And so, again, it's always a little awkward for players at the beginning because they're so used to being told A to B, B to C, whatever, and there's a lot of freedom in it. So it takes a minute. Once they all kind of get that chemistry together, then it kind of takes off. So we're still in that kind of awkward teenage years with it, but we'll get there soon. We've got enough vets and players.
Last question, DJ in the front.
Hey, Coach, DJ from Revolt. You just said that we have a starting lineup full of all-stars, right? So what does success look like for the bench at this point in the process?
That's a good question. You can't win with 5 people. You can't sustain winning with 5 people. I believe in our bench. Part of it is I've got to throw them out there and for them to take the moment by the horns. But success for the bench is contributing to winning. So that could be rebounds, that could be defensively being in the right spot, being the low man, whatever. Just contributing to winning, keeping the ball moving, all the things. I always tell players, if you don't like your role, then be really good at the one you have and you can change it. And so, they just have to accept, just really buy into this is what I'm doing. I come in and do these things, and then your role grows. But we need our bench. I like our bench. I got to do a good job of getting them involved and letting them go a little bit.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you. I'll see you after.